We are the keepers of the flame, the sacred order. Let the ceremony begin.
On today, Fifth Lock Lights, we take a look at this. And what this is from the Hot Ones, it is the classic chili maple. And this, I believe, is their lead-off sauce. So just the number one slot, the 1 out of 10. Let's see what the verbiage is here. Okay. Nothing important there. What's this? Okay, so this is a better label. So this is basically the idea here. When I looked at this, when I looked at getting this, was I don't like the classic. The straight classic is not a good sauce to me. I have done a mini review on that. You can also go to the Hot Ones playlist right here on the youtubes.com and find out which of those sauces I've done, which have yet to come, which I'm not doing. There's a lot of information for you, both here and on the blog. And of course, the written review for this is in the description below. So we've got, ideally, basically, to me, this is probably the same sauce. This one is some minor differences here. So this one has maple, and I think that is the main difference. Let's just go through here real quick and take a look at it. Put this down for a second. So we've got chili peppers. I really hate this on labels, and I'm calling on sauce companies to knock this off. Just put what peppers are in it. Like, I can eventually find, like, on the label and on the website, I can find that as Fresno, but why are you making me do that? Like, why are you making me look for that? Like, I don't understand. Just put it on the stupid ingredient panel. Also, we've got maple syrup, cider vinegar, garlic powder, salt, black pepper, turmeric. Okay, so there is no maple syrup in this one. This one lists a garlic puree as opposed to garlic. It's a little more descriptive, but this one, of course, is one of the newer ones, and I'm assuming there might be a garlic puree in there. They're both, consistency is very similar. Color's a little bit darker in this one. This may have to do with the amount that's left. Also may have to do with the maple syrup adding just a touch of color to this. But they're both fairly watery sauces. And what's kind of funny about this one is when I first opened it, it was definitely a lot more, I shook it as well as I could, but I got a lot of cider vinegar out of the top. And the mystery for me was, how did they manage to screw up what was... So this is one of my favorite sauces that Hot Ones has done. Excellent sauce. And I was like, how did they screw this up? They had a winner. All they were doing is really adding maple syrup to it. Like, how? How could you do that? But fortunately, as I've agitated, it has improved a little bit. So happily, I will get to have a slightly sweeter version of the classic garlic Fresno for the wing things of Q2 2024 and onward, because I'm not going to have any more of the garlic Fresno after the next wing thing, and it's going to be pretty tight. But I will be able to do those head-to-head in the Q2 2024 wing thing. So stay tuned for that. I'm actually kind of excited about that. I do like this sauce a whole lot better now, of course, now that it's sort of agitated better. And you can see there's lots of little flecks of stuff in there. It is this gorgeous sort of nice red-orange color. Orange a little bit to the sides, more of a red in the interior, and it uses Fresno. It's one of my very favorite pods. You can, by the way, go to the blog and look for the Sauce of the Year list, in the next to the table of contents if you want to see a list on the blog of my favorite pods. At some point, I may do a video of that. I go back and forth on that. I don't have plans for it, I guess, as of right now, but you never know. So, with no further ado, let us get on into it, shall we? That is... You know, I might say this is actually better than the classic garlic Fresno. I do like... It's just a little hit of sweetness to it, but it adds a really nice depth to it that I quite like this. This actually works pretty well with the apple cider vinegar, which I don't normally like, but here it actually kind of vibes decently with it. I think this is another one that Puckerbud is producing. They do a few different Hot Ones sauces for the show as well. Yeah, very, very, very nice. So what I did for these, so I did these. This is the relatively new Hot Pockets spicy garlic chicken and bacon. There is a video of this up, and I believe it's in the Everything Else playlist if you guys want to check that out. I think it was one of the more popular videos on this site as well. But anyway, so the idea was Hot Pockets is making Hot Pockets with Hot Ones sauces. And this particular one was with the garlic Fresno. So when I added, in the video for this, I added garlic Fresno to it to see how that was. And it didn't really improve anything. So I'm going to actually do it again with this one to see if the sweetness sort of changes things out a little bit. But I have had, I've actually had a few boxes of this that I think Hot Ones are nice to have around in a pinch. And I got kind of lazy of thinking of stuff to eat. I just kind of tired of everything. So I happened to be at Walmart and I just picked up a few of these just to have. I mean, they're decent. They're nice fill-in stuff. And this is my last box of those. But, I mean, these are nice to keep around. I think this is actually one of the better Hot Pockets flavors in maybe the last decade or so. I mean, this is, again, it's not great or anything. Hot Pockets never are. But this is just, I guess, in comparison with everything else, a pretty nice product. So check out the video for that if you're interested. There is, of course, a video for the garlic Fresno as well if you're interested in that. And let's get on into trying this thing out on these. Oh, interesting. So unlike the garlic Fresno, which didn't really add anything to it, this with just that little kiss of sweetness, really nice. Got some runny guts here. Well, I mean, what can I say? If I think the classic garlic Fresno was one of the best sauces that's under the Hot Ones label, and I like this one better, I pretty much have to say that this might be instead the best under the Hot Ones label. Now, to be clear, I haven't tried all of them. I've got a couple last dabs out there. I think they're doing a buffalo now for the lead slot. Got that one yet to go. The Los Calientes are all three of those actually have onions in them, so they're not super high on my list to ever do, ever. And I'm sure they're still going to be producing seasons for a while, so they may have additional stuff coming out. One of the things I plan to do once I finish the Hot Ones show sauces project, which probably won't be this year. In fact, the show will have to be done before I truly finish it, but once I am caught up, it's one of the things I have half a mind to do. Is to break down which of their branded sauces, was the best as far as I'm concerned. Obviously, they're a pretty massive force, in the chili head world here. That little hit of sweetness is so nice. I don't understand why, people don't use Fresnos more. Maybe it's availability. They can be a bit challenging to try to come across. They're not ubiquitous and available year round, like jalapenos or habaneros are. It's kind of weird, back when I was a kid, there were certain things that would be out of season, and you could only get them at certain times of the year. I don't think it's been that way for quite a while. Most stuff is pretty available all the time, except in the Chile world, where there are phases where stuff will be out of season. We're last bastion of that. In a way, it's nice to have the convenience, but also in another way, I remember looking forward to stuff like pomegranates, and you really you can have them all the time now to the point where you're sick of them. So, something lost, something gained, I guess. All right, as to the sauce, this is a spectacular blend of flavors. The black pepper is a bit more pronounced than this one, which is interesting because black pepper is also in the garlic Fresno, but it's a bit more pronounced in here. I love black pepper, and it's something I always notice in a sauce, and when it's used effectively, I think it becomes a little bit magical. The more I'm getting into this bottle, the more I am enjoying this sauce. Yeah, this is definitely an absolute winner for me. It's got one of my favorite peppers. It's got black pepper, which is just a note, a note that I have always been really fond of. And I think taking a really good sauce like the garlic Fresno and adding that little hint of maple syrup moves this towards greatness. I'm not going to say it is a great sauce. I think it's on the high end of very good. And I think the garlic Fresno is probably at the low to middle of very good. If you say good, very good, great. If you class it in that way, which I am, but you get the point, right? But this is just it's an excellent sauce. This is another winner, both from Smokin' Ed Curry over at Puckerbutt and the Hot Ones for their branded line. And what else can you really say about this? I am always thrilled when I come across a sauce from that show that I can enjoy over a sustained period of time, and that is certainly this one. We'll just leave it there. So there it is, the Hot Ones Classic Chili Maple Hot Sauce. I'll go full in peace to serve the flame.